Welcome back to the Hero English Podcast. I'm Jordan, and I am very excited for today's episode.
Hi, everyone. I'm Riley. Me too, Jordan. Today we're diving into a topic that so many people love, animals and pets.
That's right. We'll be talking about everything from the pets we have at home to animals in the wild. We'll cover important vocabulary related to animal care, their behavior, and nature.
And we have a fantastic hero phrase for you. It's a question you can use in almost any situation to ask for advice. The phrase is, what's the best way to do something?
Oh, that's super useful. I can think of a million ways to use that already. So, what's on the agenda for today, Riley?
Well, we'll start with some key vocabulary, then listen to a dialogue between two friends planning to volunteer at an animal shelter. After that, we'll explore some fun animal idioms and cultural insights about pets.
And of course, we'll finish up with a listener question and a quick quiz to test your knowledge. Are you ready to talk about all creatures, great and small? Let's get started.
All right, let's start with our first word, domesticate. To domesticate is a verb, and it means to tame an animal and keep it as a pet or on a farm over generations.
So dogs and cats are domesticated animals, but a lion is not. Is that right?
Exactly. For example, you could say, humans began to domesticate wolves thousands of years ago, or it is very difficult to domesticate a wild animal like a bear.
I see. So if I have a pet, I can say I have a domesticated cat.
That's a very common learner mistake, Jordan. It's grammatically okay, but we almost always say, I have a domestic cat or a pet cat. We use the verb domesticate for the process, but the adjective is usually just domestic for the animal itself.
Okay. Domestic cat. Got it. What's next?
Our next word is an adjective, nocturnal. Nocturnal means being active at night.
Like owls. And my cat, who decides to run around my apartment at 3 in the morning.
Yes, exactly. Perfect example. We can say, owls are nocturnal birds, so they hunt for food in the dark. Another example is, some desert animals have a nocturnal lifestyle to avoid the heat of the day.
That makes sense. So my cat is very nocturnally active.
Almost. Nocturnal is an adjective. So you would just say, my cat is very nocturnal, or my cat is active at night. We don't need the ly ending there.
Right. My cat is nocturnal. It's simpler. Okay, what's our last word?
The last one is a noun, habitat. A habitat is the natural home or environment of an animal or plant.
Like a jungle is a tiger's habitat, and the ocean is a whale's habitat.
Precisely. For example, pollution is destroying the natural habitat of many species. Or, zoos try to create a realistic habitat for the animals they care for.
This seems straightforward. We need to protect the animals' habitats.
That's so close. The grammar is a little tricky there. The most natural way to say it is animal habitats, or the habitats of animals. The plural is just habitats.
Okay, protect animal habitats. I'll remember that. Domesticate, nocturnal, and habitat. Great start. And now I know how to use them correctly.
Hey, Anna, it's Tom. Do you have a minute? I just saw an email from the Wildlife Rescue Center.
Hi, Tom. I do. Oh, the one we applied to volunteer at? What did it say?
We're in. Our first shift is this Saturday. They work with local wildlife that can't be returned to their natural habitat.
That's fantastic news. I'm so excited. I wonder what kind of animals we'll be working with. I hope we get to see the foxes.
Me too. The email said they have a few rescue owls as well. I've always found nocturnal animals so interesting.
Oh, wow. Owls are amazing. It's a good reminder that these are wild animals, though. They're not easy to domesticate, even if they are cared for by people.
Definitely. My friend who works with animals says you have to respect their nature. So I was reading the volunteer guide. It says our main job will be cleaning enclosures and preparing food.
That makes sense. Keeping their habitat clean is probably the most important thing for their health. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I really want to do a good job.
Same here. So what's the best way to make sure we're ready for Saturday? I want to make a good first impression.
Well, the guide mentioned wearing comfortable clothes and closed-toe shoes. It also listed some of the specific cleaning procedures. What would be the best way to remember all of that?
Maybe we could make a short checklist? I can make one and send it to you. That way we won't forget anything important.
That's a great idea, Tom. It'll also be my first time working so closely with nocturnal animals. I'm not sure how their behavior differs during the day.
Good point. We could ask the supervisor when we get there. We can just say, could you tell us the best way to behave around the nocturnal animals so we don't disturb them?
Perfect. Asking directly is always a good policy. Okay, I feel much more prepared now. Thanks, Tom. I'll see you on Saturday.
See you then, Anna. I can't wait.
That was a great dialogue. Now let's expand our vocabulary with a few common English idioms related to animals.
Ooh, idioms are tricky but fun. What's the first one?
The first is creature comforts. This phrase refers to the things that make life physically comfortable, like a warm bed, good food, and modern conveniences.
So it's not actually about creatures or animals.
Not directly, though the idea comes from animals seeking comfort. We use it for humans. For example, when I go camping, I miss the creature comforts of home, like a hot shower. Or the hotel room had all the creature comforts you could want.
I see. I used to just say, I miss my comfortable things. So creature comforts is a more natural way to say that.
Exactly. It's a very common and natural sounding phrase. Okay, next up is a fish out of water.
I think I've heard this one. It means you feel uncomfortable somewhere, right?
You got it. It describes a person who feels awkward or out of place because they're in a situation they are not used to. For instance, I was the only one at the party who didn't know anyone, so I felt like a fish out of water.
That's exactly how I felt at my cousin's wedding. Everyone was a doctor, and I'm a podcast host. I was definitely a fish out of water.
I can imagine. It's a very descriptive phrase. Our last one is let the cat out of the bag.
This one sounds funny. What does it mean?
It means to reveal a secret, usually by accident. For example, we were planning a surprise party for Sarah, but her brother let the cat out of the bag.
So it has to be an accident? You wouldn't say it if someone told the secret on purpose?
That's a great question. It almost always implies it was a mistake or unintentional. If you do it on purpose, you'd probably just say he revealed the secret or he told everyone. The idiom adds that sense of oops.
Got it. Creature comforts, a fish out of water, and let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to try using these. Okay, let's dive into our hero phrase for today. What's the best way to...
This phrase is a fantastic tool for asking for advice or instructions. It shows you want the most effective or efficient method for doing something.
Right, you're not just asking how to do something, you're asking for the asterisk best method. Let's look at some variations.
A slightly more polite or formal version is, what would be the best way to... For example, if you're talking to a manager.
And even more formal, you could say, could you tell me the best way to... This is great for customer service situations.
A simpler, more direct alternative is just, how should I? It's less focused on the best way, but it works well too. Now, let's see these in action. Jordan, imagine we're coworkers. Ask me for advice about a new project.
Okay. Hey, Riley, I'm starting the new report. What's the best way to organize the data?
Good question. Let's start by creating a spreadsheet. See? It's clear and direct. Now for a casual situation. Imagine we're friends talking about pets.
All right. My new puppy is chewing everything. What's the best way to get him to stop?
Oh, you should try getting him some chew toys. It works perfectly there too. Finally, a more formal situation. Imagine I'm a librarian and you're a student.
Excuse me, could you tell me the best way to find books on ancient history?
Of course, the history section is on the second floor, organized by country. It's polite and effective in any context.
This is so useful. Okay, everyone, listen carefully and repeat after me. Let's practice the main phrase. What's the best way to? What's the best way to? What's the best way to?
You know, Riley, listening to that dialogue between Tom and Anna was great, but they spoke pretty quickly. It can be hard to catch every word when you're learning.
I completely understand. That's why we're going to listen to it again, but this time much more slowly. It's a technique called shadowing, and it's incredibly helpful.
Shadowing. What should we, the listeners, focus on when we do that?
Great question. First, pay attention to the pronunciation of our new words, domesticate, nocturnal, and habitat. Second, listen to the rhythm and intonation. Notice how their voices go up and down when they ask questions.
Okay, so pronunciation and melody. What else?
Also, listen for how words link together. For example, when Tom says, "What's the best way to?" it sounds more like, "What's the best way to?" Hearing it slowly helps you identify these linked sounds.
That makes a lot of sense. So, everyone, get ready to listen carefully. And don't just listen, try to repeat the lines in the pauses. Speak along with Tom and Anna. It's a fantastic way to improve your fluency.
Hey, Anna. It's Tom. Do you have a minute? I just saw an email from the Wildlife Rescue Center.
Hi, Tom. I do. Oh, the one we applied to volunteer at? What did it say?
We're in. Our first shift is this Saturday. They work with local wildlife that can't be returned to their natural habitat.
That's fantastic news. I'm so excited. I wonder what kind of animals we'll be working with. I hope we get to see the foxes.
Me too. The email said they have a few rescue owls as well. I've always found nocturnal animals so interesting.
Oh, wow. Owls are amazing. It's a good reminder that these are wild animals, though. They're not easy to domesticate, even if they are cared for by people.
Definitely. My friend who works with animals says you have to respect their nature. So, I was reading the volunteer guide. It says our main job will be cleaning enclosures and preparing food.
That makes sense. Keeping their habitat clean is probably the most important thing for their health. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I really want to do a good job.
Same here. So, what's the best way to make sure we're ready for Saturday? I want to make a good first impression.
Well, the guide mentioned wearing comfortable clothes
and closed-toed shoes. It also listed some of the specific cleaning procedures. What would be the best way to remember all of that?
Maybe we could make a short checklist? I can make one and send it to you. That way we won't forget anything important.
That's a great idea, Tom. It'll also be my first time working so closely with nocturnal animals. I'm not sure how their behavior differs during the day.
Good point. We could ask the supervisor when we get there. We can just say, "Could you tell us the best way to behave around the nocturnal animals so we don't disturb them?"
Perfect. Asking directly is always a good policy. Okay, I feel much more prepared now. Thanks, Tom. I'll see you on Saturday.
See you then, Anna. I can't wait.
Jordan, talking about pet care got me thinking. In America and other Western countries, are pets really considered part of the family?
That's a great question, Jordan. For a huge number of people, the answer is absolutely yes. People often call their pets their fur babies. They'll celebrate their birthdays, buy them special organic food, and even get pet insurance, which is like health insurance for animals.
Wow, pet insurance. That shows a serious level of commitment. Is that a new thing?
It's become much more common in the last 20 years. I remember my childhood dog, Rusty. We didn't have insurance for him, but my parents treated him like a third child. He had his own stocking at Christmas and came on all our family vacations. He was definitely family.
That's so sweet. In many parts of Asia, including where I grew up in China, this is a newer idea. Traditionally, dogs were often for guarding the house and cats were for catching mice. They were working animals, not companions.
How has that changed with younger generations?
It's changed a lot. Now, especially in big cities, young people treat their pets just like you described. They buy them clothes, take them to grooming salons. My parents don't quite get it. When I showed them a picture of my friend's cat in a sweater, my dad asked, "Is the cat cold?" He was genuinely confused.
That's a classic generational difference. It's fascinating how the role of domestic animals has evolved so differently around the world. It shows how much our relationship with nature and animals is shaped by our culture.
It really does. And it seems like this pets as family idea is becoming more of a global trend.
I think so too. It's a positive shift, showing more empathy and care for our animal friends.
All right, it's time for our listener question. This one comes from Kenji in Japan, and he asks, "I'm afraid of using animal idioms like raining cats and dogs. What if I use them wrong? Is it okay to just avoid them?"
That's a fantastic and very common question, Kenji. First of all, let me say that your fear is completely normal. Idioms can be scary.
I agree. I still get nervous about them sometimes.
So, to answer your question directly, yes, it is 100% okay to avoid using them if you're not comfortable. The most important goal of language is clear communication. Using simple, direct language correctly is always better than using a complex idiom incorrectly.
So, clarity is more important than sounding fancy.
Exactly. However, while you don't need to use them, it is very helpful to understand them. Native speakers use idioms like "let the cat out of the bag" all the time in conversation. So my advice is to focus on listening for them first. When you hear one, notice the context.
So, become a detective before you become a speaker.
Perfectly said. Start with one or two very common ones, understand them deeply, and then, only when you feel confident, try using one with a friend or a teacher. Don't pressure yourself to use them all.
Great advice, Riley.
So for Kenji and everyone listening, the main takeaway is don't worry about using idioms yourself. Focus on understanding them first. Start small, listen a lot, and use simple words to communicate clearly. That's the best way to build confidence.
Okay, Jordan, are you ready for a quick quiz to see what you've learned today?
I was born ready, Riley. Let's do it.
Question 1. If an animal is active at night, what adjective do we use to describe it?
That would be nocturnal? Final answer.
Correct, 1 for 1. Now for question 2. What animal idiom means you feel very uncomfortable or awkward in a situation?
Oh, I know this one. It's let the cat out of the bag.
Ooh, sorry, that's incorrect. Let the cat out of the bag means to reveal a secret. The correct answer is a fish out of water.
Oh, of course. I got my animal idioms mixed up. Okay, I can handle the pressure. What's the last question?
This one is about our hero phrase. Fill in the blank. What's the blank way to learn English?
That's easy. What's the best way to learn English? And the answer is listening to this podcast.
Correct. Well done. Now it's your turn, listeners. Try to answer those questions out loud. Let's see how you did.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode about animals and pets.
We hope you enjoyed it. We covered some great vocabulary like domesticate, nocturnal, and habitat, as well as some fun phrases like creature comforts.
And don't forget our super useful hero phrase. What's the best way to... You can use this everywhere.
Now, for your homework, your mission this week is to use that phrase at least 3 times. You can ask a friend for advice, a coworker for instructions, or even ask yourself, what's the best way to cook dinner tonight?
I love that. Practice makes perfect. And if you enjoyed this episode, please consider following or subscribing so you don't miss our next one. We'll be talking all about food and cooking.
It's going to be a delicious episode. Until then, keep practicing your English and stay curious. I'm Riley.
And I'm Jordan. We'll talk to you next time on the Hero English Podcast. You know, Riley, talking about nocturnal animals reminded me of my cat last week. He's usually pretty quiet.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, I bought one of those robot vacuum cleaners. I turned it on for the first time at night around 10 p.m. My cat, Mochi, just sat there and stared at it for a full minute, completely still.
He was analyzing the threat.
Exactly. Then the vacuum moved towards him and Mochi puffed up to twice his normal size and leapt straight up in the air sideways. I've never seen anything like it. He then spent the rest of the night following it from a safe distance, hiding behind furniture.
That is hilarious. He was protecting his habitat from the strange, noisy intruder.
He really was. The best part was when the vacuum went back to its charging station, Mochi cautiously walked up to it, sniffed it once, and then confidently strutted away as if he had won a great battle.
Of course he did. In his mind, he is the fierce protector of the kingdom. You just don't appreciate his hard work.
Clearly not. I guess I owe him some extra treats for his bravery.